The restaurant was buzzing with laughter, clinking glasses, and the hum of conversations. But in the corner booth sat a little girl with big, tearful eyes, clutching the handle of her small pink wheelchair. No one seemed to notice her except for one young waitress, Emma, who had been rushing from table to table, balancing trays heavier than her frame. She noticed because Emma noticed everything, every shadow of pain, every flicker of discomfort. And on that night, she saw the unthinkable. A group of rude teenagers near the booth had started mocking the child, whispering cruel jokes and imitating the way her hands trembled. The little girl's lips quivered, but she stayed silent, fighting tears. That's when Emma's protective instinct kicked in. Without a thought, she stormed over.
Hey!
Emma's voice was sharp, shaking the table where the teens sat. Enough. If you think it's funny to pick on a child, then you're not welcome here. The boys scoffed, ready to argue, but the fire in Emma's eyes made them retreat. She bent down to the girl's level, smiling warmly. You're safe here, sweetheart. Don't listen to them. You are perfect just as you are. The girl finally smiled through her tears, and from the shadows of the restaurant, a man had been watching, his jaw tight, his hands clenched. This wasn't just any man. This was Daniel Sterling, one of the richest businessmen in the city. And the child Emma had just defended was his daughter, Lily. Daniel was used to people treating him differently because of his wealth, but he wasn't used to people protecting his daughter out of genuine care. Lily had cerebral palsy, and while Daniel could buy her the best doctors, the fanciest schools, and the latest therapies, he couldn't buy kindness. That's why Emma's actions cut through him like a lightning bolt. After the shift ended, as Emma tied her apron and prepared to leave, Daniel approached. His tall figure, sharp suit, and commanding presence made her pause. She thought maybe she was in trouble for how she'd handled those customers. But instead, he said, "Thank you for standing up for my daughter." Emma blinked, surprised. "Oh, it was nothing. I just couldn't stand seeing her hurt." "It wasn't nothing," Daniel replied. "People don't usually step in. Not like that." He introduced Lily properly, and the little girl hugged Emma as if they had known each other forever. That small hug planted the seed of a bond none of them could have predicted. Over the next few weeks, Daniel found excuses to stop by the restaurant with Lily. She insisted on seeing Emma, and each visit made their bond stronger. Emma read her stories, played little games, and treated her not like a fragile porcelain doll, but like a child who deserved joy and adventure. But the real twist came when Daniel, impressed by Emma's compassion, offered her a job. Not as a waitress, but as Lily's companion and caretaker. Emma was hesitant. She needed the money, yes, but working for a billionaire sounded terrifying. What if she didn't fit into his world? What if she made mistakes? Still, the sparkle in Lily's eyes convinced her. She said yes. The new job wasn't easy. Emma faced whispers from Daniel's household staff who thought she didn't belong. Some accused her of chasing Daniel's money. Paparazzi even snapped photos spreading rumors about the mystery woman, always by the billionaire's side. But Emma stayed focused on Lily. She organized little adventures in the park, encouraged her to try painting, even helped her participate in a school play that everyone thought she couldn't handle. Daniel watched all of this quietly, his heart softening. For years, he had buried himself in work to cope with his wife's passing. He had built walls of steel around his emotions. Yet here was Emma, breaking them down, not with wealth or power, but with kindness. Then came the biggest challenge. Lily was invited to a prestigious children's charity gala, but she panicked at the thought of being in a wheelchair around so many strangers. "They'll stare at me," she whispered to Emma. "They'll laugh." Emma knelt beside her. "Then let them stare. We'll show them that bravery isn't about walking into a room. It's about owning it." On the night of the gala, Lily rolled into the ballroom, wearing a sparkling blue dress Emma had helped her pick. Emma walked proudly beside her. But as whispers rippled through the crowd, Lily froze. Her eyes filled with fear, and that's when Emma did something shocking. She stepped into the spotlight, took the microphone meant for the announcer, and said, "Everyone, this is Lily Sterling. She's brave, she's brilliant, and she has a heart bigger than this room. If you want to see true strength, don't look at the money or the fame around you. Look at her. The room fell silent. And then applause erupted. Daniel's eyes glistened with tears as he saw his daughter beam with pride. From that night on, everything changed. Daniel no longer saw Emma as just an employee. She had become family. And though their worlds were different, Billionaire and Waitress, the bond of love and kindness bridged the gap. Emma faced her share of critics. Some said she was after Daniel's fortune. Others doubted her intentions. But she proved them wrong every day, not with words, but with her unwavering care for Lily. And slowly, Daniel realized something he hadn't felt in years. He was falling in love. Not with someone who wanted his wealth, but with someone who wanted nothing more than to bring joy to his daughter's life. The journey wasn't without trials. Emma worried she wasn't good enough. Daniel struggled with trust. Lily feared losing Emma if things didn't work out. But through every obstacle, they held on to one lesson. Kindness is more powerful than judgment, wealth, or fear. In the end, Daniel confessed his feelings. You came into our lives like a storm, Emma. You healed parts of me I didn't even know were broken. Will you stay not just for Lily, but for me too? A tear streamed down Emma's face as she nodded. And for the first time, Lily's laughter filled the room. Not out of politeness, not out of obligation, but pure, unfiltered happiness. And that, my friends, is the shocking story of how a billionaire caught a waitress protecting his disabled daughter, and how kindness changed their lives forever. If this story touched your heart, let us know in the comments below. What would you have done in Emma's shoes? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Be Kind Always, where we believe kindness is the greatest wealth of all.